Who was Charles Manson? Manson was portrayed as a guitar-playing ex-convict with a following of runaway young women, his so-called family members. They spoke of launching a holy war against the rich and the powerful. Manson was described as either a psychopathic killer, a demented messiah, or a man who controlled the minds of weaker followers. The whole idea of Helter Skelter was the last destructive war on the face of this earth among men. The black and white race war, the killing among Bel Air and Beverly Hills would ignite the bloody war that was supposed to cleanse the earth and clean the souls of everyone. It was a horror beyond imagination. Charles Manson wanted to spark the revolution, but supposedly, but really wanted to get revenge for his failed music career. That's why the house at Cielo Drive was picked, you see, because of his failed music career. He went to one place that the family or people told him no, and his failed music career, that's why he went back. Charles Manson wanted to spark the revolution, supposedly, but that's why the house was picked, was to send a message to Terry Melcher after they moved out that there for the grace of God, go you. That's why the house was picked. It was to ignite the prophecy of Helter Skelter, which I'll be going into in the next episode. How much and I'll get into how much the White Album played into the cult or group marriage. Manson, during the family's heyday, was cleverly appeared behind the common image of being a peace-loving, a puppet master for the underworld, as they say. With my one and only love, which time kept away from me, Susan Atkins. I would break her the fuck out of jail and have conjugal visits every day with her. Fuck Donald Leisure, her husband, in prison. Fuck the Texas millionaire Leisure, and I'm Atkins' real husband and lover. Malik Atala signing off. Death is Charlie's trip. Charlie said everybody had to die, either in their head, the killing of the ego, or out on the streets. He said his songs contained frequent references to death. He said he'd rather kill a human being than either a bird or a rattlesnake. He's had a morbid preoccupation with death and murder. He said this about society. Those people out there, they don't have time to sit with themselves and get in tuned with the one. They're like robots programmed to work those 8 hours a day, all caught up in their little teeny lives like living in boxes, waiting to die. Every one of them racing along those freeways to their doom. Even if they could stop and take a look at themselves, they wouldn't be able to accept what they see because of the guilt that they would carry around. They eat cows and animals and tear down trees and all of the things the planet gives us and don't put nothing back into it. Selfish and greedy people. What is guilt, anyway, on the subject of guilt? Guilt is on the issue of guilt. Charlie Manson said, guilt, what is guilt anyway? It's just something mommy and daddy put into you to control you to do what they said. If you didn't do what they told you to do, you would feel guilty about it. Well, listen, I've told you over and over right from the beginning, there is no guilt. Well, listen, you don't got to do what mommy and daddy says no more to do anymore. You are your own person and you just do what you want to do. Do what you do and don't think about it. There's no guilt. Guilt is all in your head. It's an illusion, a figment of your imagination to create the world you live in. You are what you see. Get outside yourself and look back at yourself, and you will see that you are an illusion. There is only one. We are all part of that one. Charlie said that no sense makes sense. Manson, during the group's orgies, acted as a maestro. He would orchestrate the whole thing. No one else touched anyone else or kissed anyone else or made love to anyone else unless Manson told him to do so. During the acid trips, he would dig down very deep into their psyche and try to remove any long-standing convictions they had on life. He eventually convinced them that he was Jesus Christ and the devil, all wrapped up into the same person. They just slept and got loaded. At one point, Charles Manson realized saw how much power he had over these group of young kids. One time, they were all huddled together in one place. He looked up at his followers and said, "Bow like sheep." And every single one of their heads did it exactly at the moment that he said. So he would smirk and laughed when he saw the whole thing go by. And he experienced the control he had there. Manson enticed people to make use of them, but then move on afterwards. His followers were very much still always attracted to Charlie, even the one he was the one to be. The hippie cult leader, whose followers sometimes called Satan, Charles Manson, the evil mastermind, energy of the place, Spawn Ranch, where every one of his girls worked on a stitched coat with unbelievable designs from blue and red and yellow, all stitched together for Manson to wear as their rock star.